Hey, you guys, it's Jen. How are you today? Today I wanted to give a little tutorial on how to put together the KSCraft Lover Store tissue box cover die. I've had some questions about it because I've shown a bunch of them on my channel. I make them for every season for my powder room. I've told you guys I've made them for gifts. I've sold a couple, and I just love putting it together. There are a lot of pieces to it, and there aren't really any instructions. So I thought, a tutorial, just kind of a craft with me would be a good idea. I am not sponsored by KSCraft. I'm not on their design team or anything. I bought this die myself, and I will link it down below. But this is just, just to help you if you bought the die or the die set and you have questions or you're thinking about it. So I will take you through a tour of the different pieces, and then we'll put one together. Yeah, so you could see how I do it. I don't use all of the pieces. There are some layering parts that I'll show you, but I just usually don't use them. But I wanted to show you this one as an example. This one I have in my craft room. As you can see, it says craft room on it, and I don't change this one out for seasons. This one I just keep here all year. And it's great because you just cover up a ordinary tissue box with a cute little house. And yeah, so this is the one that I made for my craft room, and just wanted to show you guys an example before we go through the different parts. Okay, super, super fun to make. So let me show you the dies that it comes with, okay? And it's about $19.99 with free shipping on AliExpress. I didn't see it on her Amazon shop. But yeah, so and sometimes it's on sale, when Ali has a sale, so just keep an eye on that. It is a lot of money, definitely. $20 for a die set is nothing to sneeze at, but it does have a lot of pieces. It's large, and you can use it, lots of different ways. And I think it's a good value. There are some die sets you get that are very specific for a certain project. So I don't think they're as good a value. I just like this because you can make all different kinds of houses. You can make like a little she shed like I made. You can make gingerbread houses at Christmas time. Like I said, different seasonal tissue boxes. So anyway, let's get to it because this will probably take a while. So these are all the dies that you get. I'm pretty sure I got this a couple years ago. So I think I have all the pieces, but it doesn't come on the metal sheets. I just put it on there to store them. So like you could see, there's a lot of pieces here. Okay, so this is the first piece that I always use. This is the side that has the front door side. Okay, so you cut out two of those, one for the front and one for the back. This is a layering piece for this that I don't use. You could, cut this out with like a solid color and then cut out a different color to put on top. I don't know why you would really do that, so I don't. This piece here, you'd think it would be for the side for a window, but it is actually a roof piece, and it cuts out a hole for the chimney. So you use that for that. Okay. This piece is also a layering piece that I do not use, I assume, for the chimney. I don't use this piece, so I'm going to put aside the ones that I don't use. Okay. This piece I use. This is the other two walls on the side of the house. This side and this side. Okay. So you cut out two of these. And I also, like I wrote here, also cut one for the roof and trim the bottom to fit. Because on the roof, you see there are two different sides. There's a blank side and then a side with the hole for the chimney. But I could not find a side that you need a flap on there. So this is what I use for the roof. The same one that I use for the walls, I use it for the roof. and then I cut it when it's done to match the side with the chimney. And I'll show you, but I'm just explaining exactly how I use that. So we use that one. This is also a layering piece I do not use. Okay, and the rest of the pieces I do use. Let's get this up. Okay, this is obviously the trim piece, like that. And I cut out 2 of those, 1 for each side. Okay, this is the base of the door, which would be the pink part of that door. And then this is the trim of the door. I always cut these out. I just think it looks really cute. So I definitely do this every time. Okay, so there's 3 different pieces for the door. There's a background piece. There's the piece with like the thin bars on it. And then there's this accent piece as well, which is white on the front. So I use all those. Okay, these are the backgrounds for the windows. And it does cut out like a trim part. I don't use that. I just use the background window piece that it cuts out. So I cut out 2 of the large ones and 1 of the small ones. So there's 1 small one up here, 1 large one there, and then a large one on the side. Of course, you can do whatever you want. That's how I do it. That's how it was shown on the example when I first got it. So that's how I do it. And then there are the trim pieces for the window. This cuts out the, like the sashing, the white part on these windows. So I cut out, again, 2 of the large and 1 of the small. And the last part is the chimney. So it cuts out like this. So you want to do it so that the pattern of the chimney, if you have one that has like writing on it like I do, this is the top of the chimney. So you just cut it in 1 piece. I'll show you, of course, but I just wanted to explain it first. And then these are layering pieces on the chimney, which I do use occasionally depending on what paper I use, but it looks really cute if you, like this would be, well, like if you put a layering piece here on some of them, like I said, depending on what paper you choose. So sometimes I do that. Okay, so those are all the layering pieces. So I showed you all the pieces that we're going to use. The rest are just trims and embellishments from whatever you decide to make your tissue box look like. So let me move these out of the way for now, and I'll tell you what other things you're going to need. So for the paper, you need, if you want every side of the background paper to be the same, you're going to need 2 12 by 12 pieces of cardstock. And you want it to be pretty heavy. It doesn't have to be 1 10-pound, but at least 65-pound to support your tissue box. You don't want to use just, regular scrapbook paper. It's got to be a little bit more solid than that. I tend to use like basil cardstock or double-sided paper. That works well too. Although you don't really see the other side of the paper, but it is thicker. So this is basil, as you can see. But the roof is double-sided, so you can see right through to the other side of the roof. Okay, so 2 sheets of 12 by 12 paper for the main house part. For the roof, you're going to need another sheet of 12 by 12 paper in a different pattern. And then for the other pieces, they don't need to be 12 by 12. You'll be able to fit them on a regular, like, maybe not 6 by 6, but maybe an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. All right, so I did cut out some ahead of time. I'm going to make a tissue box cover with the Made with Love collection by Doodlebug. So I did get the collection, but the thing with those is you only get like 1 sheet of each paper. So I tend to make the background part of the tissue box with like a solid color, and that makes it easier to do embellishments too. It doesn't make it too loud or anything. If I do use a pattern, I use typically like a small scale pattern, nothing too crazy. So I did cut out the base of the house with, this is basil paper, and this has the like subtly raised dots. I got this at Joann's. It's just a pale pink. So again, I'll show you exactly what you need to cut out. Okay, so this piece, you need to cut out 2 of these. So that's what I did. And this fit in my Cuttlebug. It just fits. It's just exactly the same height as your cutting plates. So you have to make sure it's on perfectly. If you have a bigger machine, you're not going to have to worry about it. But if you have a Cuttlebug, it'll fit. Just, you know, make sure everything's lined up perfectly and you really don't have any extra on either side. So, but it works. So I cut out 2 of those, and then I cut out 2 of these. This is a square that has a little flap on the top. Okay, so there's those that are cut out. And for the roof, I like to use pattern paper usually, just because you don't need a whole sheet of 12 by 12 and it's fun. So I cut out these 2 pieces, and that is the chimney part, this one, and I cut out another one of the wall ones for the roof. Now you could see that it's not the same size. So what I do is I line it up at the top and then just trim it to size at the end. So I'm going to do that right now. Just make them nice and even. I really don't know if this is the intent for this piece, but that's how it works for me. So I'm just sharing the way I do it. Again, it's not sponsored at all, so I don't have anybody's approval for this or whatever. I'm just showing you the way I do it. Okay, so they are now the same size. So you have one side of the roof and the other, and it's important that they both have the flaps on the top. Okay, so now we're going to put them together. You are going to need some sort of adhesive. I use double-sided tape. You could use a fast-drying glue like our glitter glue or something like that. I would suggest not using hot glue because you do need to make a few adjustments. So I use 2 sizes of tape. Actually, I might use 3. It depends on, well, let's just start with these. I think this is the 1/4 inch and the 8 inch tapes. I got these from Alina Craft. You can use whatever double-sided tape you want. So let me just move the dies out of the way and I'll be right back. Okay, I also got out my bone folder because you're going to have to do a little folding here. As you'll see, there's score lines on the flaps on all of these pieces. So what you're going to do is go ahead and fold these. You don't have to use a bone folder, but if you want to make a nice crisp edge, then you're going to do that. So just fold them in. Sorry, off camera. And then just take your bone folder and smooth it down like that. And I'll just do that for all of these. Okay, so first what we're going to do is put the sides of the house together. And I'll show you how they're going to fit together. So this is one of the outside pieces. The sidewall pieces, the flap is at the top. So what you're going to do is take each flap or each flap and tape it together like that. So what I do is I go ahead and put double-sided tape on each of the flaps on this side, actually on all of them. All the different flaps you're going to put double-sided tape. And I'll show you how you do that. Just take your tape and just got out my pokey tool because that'll help me get the backing off. So just line it up. I'll show you a close-up in a second. Okay, and then I cut it off so it's nice and even. Like that. Okay, so you could see that I put it very close to the fold. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do that for all of these different flaps, and I'll be right back. Okay, I got all the pieces done. There's double-sided tape on all the different flaps. When you get to the roof, you only need double-sided tape on one of the flaps. So we'll just put that aside till we put the house together. All right, so take one of the corner pieces and you're gonna take off the double-sided tape on one of the sides. I usually just start with the right side. So I just use my pokey tool to help me get the backing off. Come on. Okay. And then you take one of the other side pieces. Remember, the flap goes on the top. And then you're just going to line up the bottom and the top. So you take the edge and put it to the fold line, okay? And just press it on once it's nice and even. And there you have the corner. All right, and then you take the next house, and this one you're going to take the left side off. And you'll take the other side and fit it on to the tape. So it's nice and even. You want it to be as square as you can. Just press that tape down. See how it's coming together? All right. Then you take the next side. Take off the double-sided tape cover. Okay. Take the last side of the house, fit it on. I usually just start with the bottom and then just slowly place it on top of the rest of the tape. So it looks like that. Then you go back to this side, take off that tape. And stick the last flap to the side. Hopefully you can see this. Okay. Like I said, you can use wet glue too. And just press it down, make sure all the tape is stuck. And you have the house. Okay, so now the next step is to do the roof. So I guess you could do each side one at a time, but I usually put the roof together and then stick it on top as a whole piece. So let's take off that tape. And you just stick the two flaps together. One of them has tape, one of them doesn't. Again, just lining up the edge. And when you cut these out, pay attention to the pattern. The way I did it was I wanted it to, go up, or, the pattern to be correct when you're looking at each side of the roof. So I was aware of that when I was cutting out the paper. Okay, so that's going to be your roof, obviously. So it really doesn't matter which side is the front or the back, or what side you put the chimney on, the left or the right. I don't know why, probably just because it was done that way. I just usually make this side the front and I have the chimney over here. That's just the way I do it. So what I'm going to do now is go through and take off all of these pieces of double-sided tape. So let's do that. I'll try and speed it up here a little bit. Okay, all the tape is ready to go and expose. So obviously it's very sticky right now. So this part takes a little bit of carefulness. You're going to take your roof. All right, and you're going to see, because the box itself at this point is a little unstable until you get the roof on, but that helps you adjust it. So I just put the roof, lay it on top, but I turn it to the side and make sure I have them lined up, the roof to the back and the front wall before I press it down. So I usually start with one side first. So here I am on the right. Let me try and move so you could see. Okay. And I'm just going to press it down just very slowly on the side, just so it sticks slightly, just on this side. Okay, then I'm going to go the back. Press it down gently on this side too. Just come around, make sure those sides are lined up, and then this one too. And once everything is just kind of lightly pressed down, I look around to make sure it's kind of even. It looks pretty good. So I'm just going to go ahead and press all of the tape down. And if you look inside, those are the different flaps that are taped. So I'm just going to press these as well. Make sure they're pressed down and sticking. If you have wet glue, that's always good because you can move things around a little bit before it dries. The thing with wet glue for me is I tend to smear it, so this doesn't leave any smears at all. You just have to be careful about pressing it down before it's lined up correctly. But once it's lined up correctly, you can go ahead, press it down, and it should be fine. Okay, so that is the hard part of the house. I did not cut out the chimney yet because I like to see how this looks together before I cut out the rest of the pieces. Sometimes just things look different once you have this together, and I'm usually not sure what paper I want to use. And it's fun to just kind of do it as you go along. I did cut out the roofline pieces. I cut out 2 of these. So these are going to go here. All right, so that I definitely use glue for. So let me get out my art glitter glue. This is my art glitter glue. And let's put these on. So I just add some glue. You could use your double-sided tape if you want. This is just what works for me. There we are. And then you're just going to stick it on the top, follow the roof line. As you can see, there's some overhang there, so you don't need to add glue to the very end or very bottom of that. Then I do it for the next side as well. There you are. These are really fun gifts too, you know, just like pop a tissue box in there and just bring them over to your friend's house or whatever. If you go there for a different season or something like that. I mean, everybody has tissue boxes, right? Why not make them look cute? Okay, so there's that. Looking cute. And you'll see there's like a gap between the roof and that trim piece, but we're going to add some trim later to fill that in. Like on my craft trim tissue box, I have pom-pom trim there, so you can't see the little gap. All right, so this is the front. I always have the chimney there. So let's start with the doors. I did cut out, I cut all the trim out in this paper. This is also, no, this is not basil. This is from the Made with Love collection from Doodlebug. It's from like the Petite Prince pack. So I cut that out of that, all the different trim pieces. All right, so here are the pieces that I cut out. I cut out this. I cut out 2 of these larger window frames. See, there's 2 of them. I cut out 1 of the smaller ones. And then I cut out this piece as well. It's actually 2 pieces, but I just keep them together. All right. And then for the background pieces for the windows and the doors, I cut out 2 of these. It cuts out the little frame, which I just throw out. I don't use those. I'm not really sure how you would use them, but anyway, so there's 2 of the larger ones and 1 of the small, and then 1 of the door backgrounds. So let's put these together and then we'll glue them onto the tissue box. This is taking a while. I'm sorry, you guys. While I am editing this, I will try and consolidate just so it's not ridiculously long, this video. So, all right, let's put the door together. So you take the base, take the one with the bars on it, put some glue on the back, and stick it on top. Right on top. Or you could actually take the door and then stick it on. And this fits pretty perfectly. So it just looks like that. I love that little utensil print I'm using for the background. All right, then you take these pieces and glue them on as well. So we'll put some art glitter glue on the back. And just leave a space at the top. And line it up with the little bars. I really like the detail on this door. I always do them this way. I should probably change it up. But, oops, got glue on my mat. That's why I use this mat, because I don't like to get glue all over my tablecloth. All right. I mean, I do have this tablecloth to protect my table, and now I have this mat to protect my tablecloth. Okay, so there's the door. Once we get everything on, we'll glue on like a doorknob or some decorations, but that's the door itself. Let's do the windows. Windows are easier. Just take the frame, put glue on the back. All right, so I usually glue the door on first. That goes like right over here in the corner. And just line it up with the bottom. It goes pretty far over, so there's enough room for your windows. Excuse me. Okay, just press it down. All right, And let's put on one of the larger windows. And that goes about there. A little bit lower than the door. So this is lower because you need room for the smaller one. There we go. All right, and we'll do the smaller window for the top. And this one just kind of, it's not right in the center because the door is kind of in the way, just over a little bit. Oops, some glue there. That's okay. Art glitter glue dries clear, so. Oh, that's looking so cute, right? Look at the roof. Just totally adorable. So then I put one on this side. I usually have them in my powder room and they sit like this, like just on the back of the toilet actually. So you can't really see that side and the back, so I usually don't decorate them or, you know, put embellishments on there. And I just kind of line it up so the base is level. Just eyeballed. Oh, that's looking adorable. Okay, so let's do the chimney now. The chimney, where are you? Looks like this. So I think I will use, I have this Made with Love cookie page, which is adorable. So I think that would look cute in there. So like I said before, you want to cut it out. So this is the top. So see the smiley faces? Obviously the top will be here. So I'm going to go cut this out. I'll be right back. Okay, this is cut out. So as you can see, there's a whole bunch of score lines on here. So you're going to go ahead and fold and score. Okay, and now on all the flaps, you are going to put some double-sided tape. I'm going to use a thinner one. This is the 1/8 inch one. Okay, then go ahead and this one flap here, this is where you're going to attach it to the other side. So take that piece off. Go and stick it together like that. And these flaps you're going to bend out this way because they're going to stick to the underside of the house. Okay, so it's going to look like that. So then go ahead and take off those double-sided tape covers. Okay, so that's what your chimney looks like. It's all sticky on the edges. So then you take your house, you're going to go and put this inside, poke it through the top, the smaller edges at the top. Okay, and just make sure it's stuck all the way through. Let me just show you inside. See how the flaps are right touching the roof part? Okay, so then you take the flaps and can you see? You can see, right? And press them onto the roof. There are 4 flaps. Just pressing them so that they stick. again, you can use double-sided glue. Ta-da! Now, like I said, you could have used those layering pieces if you want, which I have done before. Like this is one of them. And you just, you know, cut them out and stick them on there as well. There's one for each different side. Like yours. This one you would cut out and you could have a layering piece for that. So that's something, that's an option. I'm not going to do it for this one. And I like using double-sided tape because sometimes you, even when you have a tissue popping out, you could still see the inside. So, all right, so there is that. And this is basically done, you know, besides embellishments. You put a tissue box in here and tissues come out. But of course, embellishing is the most fun. I like to put some bling for the doorknob and for the windows. I like to add trims. Why don't I get out some trim and show you how to add that to the top, and then I'll come back once it's all decorated and show you the completed tissue box. So let's get some trim. I'm going to get some pom-pom trim. Okay, I have a box of pom-pom trims, see? And I was thinking this light yellow one would be really pretty because it kind of complements the roof. So any kind of trim that you want is fun to add here. I've added lots of different kinds. I've added lace trims. You just want it to be able to be flexible enough that it can bend correctly at the top. You could also just like miter the edges and have it go there as well. So either way, it's up to you. I like to use pom-pom trim. I just think it looks really, really cute usually. So what I do is I just start at one end and I add some Fabri-Tac and take my glue. Let me get my Fabri-Tac. And I don't cut it to size yet. I just stick one end up first, then bring it down over the other side, and then I trim it. Just because sometimes when you're working with fabric trims, things stretch while you're gluing them down or bending them, so you don't really know what the correct length is until you get started. All right, so I have Fabri-Tac on there. I start at the bottom and just glue it to the bottom and press it down. And I usually do it like a little bit higher than the roof line, just to hide any gaps that are there. And with Fabri-Tac dry time, you have some leeway to move it around before it dries completely. There we go. See, I might want to pull that down a little bit more. I didn't have it all the way at the bottom. Okay, so there's that. So then I'm going to hold it. So yeah, let me add some more Fabri-Tac and then I'll cut it in a little bit. I don't know if you probably can't see. I'm just adding Fabri-Tac to the back. Alternatively, you could add it right to the edge of your house like this, which I think I will do. It's just easier the angle I'm at right here. Okay, and then just bend it. And I'm just turning it so it's the correct way here. Okay. And then press it down. And then you could take your scissors and trim it at the bottom. I'm gonna take my fabric scissors so I get a nice clean cut. Oh, this is so cute. Ta-da! I usually add it to the back as well. I just like the symmetry. So I'll do that and I'll be right back. Okay, the pom-pom trim is on both sides, and I got out some of my embellishments that I thought I would like to put on. I was thinking I would take, this is a, oh, I'm so sorry. I was gonna take a strip from the sticker sheet that came with the paper pack. I like to use these on the bottom to make it look like, you know, just like some decoration. So what I do is I put it on the edge, on the bottom. Sometimes you need to add glue, sometimes not. We'll see. And just wrap it around the side like this. I put a tissue box in there too. Okay, I'm going to cut it off at the back. Like that. Isn't that adorable? It just kind of ties the different colors together. And then I'll add some to this side too. At least to the front part. I'll just add like a small corner piece here. Should I? Yeah, I might as well use the whole thing. Press it down. Isn't that cute? All right, and then I got out this piece of ephemera. This is from the Chit Chat. And I thought that would be cute, like just right up here, right? So I'm going to add some Fabri-Tac. To it. Just the edges, because it's going to stick to the pom-pom. So Fabri-Tac will hold it nice. Yeah, that is cute. All right, now let me go. I'll just add some more embellishments and I'll come back because this is getting really, really long and I'll show you what I did. Okay. Okay, so here it is all done. As you can see, I added a few more embellishments. I added some little like icing poopy sprinkles to the middle of the windows. I added a cute little sticker of an egg for the doorknob. I added the whisk and the spoon as well. I added a bow that I had pre-made in my stash. I thought the colors looked nice. I just put that on the door. On the side, I added some more stickers just to add a little bit of whimsy. I just think it's adorable. I love all the bright colors. And I did leave this side blank. I might change that up depending on where I put this, but for now I'm just going to leave it like that. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and craft with me. I hope it's not too long after I do some editing. I will leave the link below to the die set that is on AliExpress to make this tissue box. If you have any questions at all, please leave them down below. I'd be happy to get back to you. Thanks for watching. I'll be back soon with another crafty video, and I hope you have a great day. Bye, guys.